frontline and online, to the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful, to those who don't stop and those making all the stops, to the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Toast.
Monday was a sad day for Call of Duty players as the anticipated shutdown of third-party stat site SBMM Warzone occurred. Activision sent the creators of the site a cease and desist demanding the website be shut down, citing privacy concerns. The website used the Call of Duty API to obtain player data and then provide useful statistics to players and organize Warzone lobbies into skill-based ranks so players could see the overall skill level of the lobby they just played in. Because Warzone doesn't have a ranking system, players had flocked to SBMM Warzone in a bid to better understand Call of Duty's mysterious skill-based matchmaking system. And in most gamers' minds, that was the problem. They were doing a better job of providing a service than Activision was. Happy gaming.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Good morning here at beautiful Inter Miami CF Stadium. No clouds in the sky. It is a beautiful Wednesday, a beautiful hump day, and a beautiful Royal Wednesday, as we will have on Royal Shepherd from 5 Reasons Sports here in the first hour to talk about the Miami Heat. We'll also have Jazz Santana, the host of Sunday Sports Drop, here at Onside Radio from 7 to 9 every Sunday. He'll be on as well in the second hour, and we'll talk with him about the Canes, the pro day that they had, as well as talking to him about baseball as it comes back. And I need a reason to care about the Marlins. So I'm going to ask Jazz his thoughts. And I also want to, I'll ask this in a second as well. But I also want to get his thoughts on, the pro day and everything like that for the UM players. Of course, Sean Stanley, always here with me, the producer of all producers. Sean, I have to ask two things. One, has it been an uneventful morning? And two, did the baseball fantasy draft start yet?
The fantasy draft for 4th and 20 is tonight. That's okay. One. And two, woke up this morning to a traffic jam at 5:30 in the morning. So
really? Not
uneventful, but not as eventful as it could be, I guess.
Oh, man. So I had 2 straight days of traffic, and then I transferred that off to you today. So you got all my traffic this morning.
Thanks.
Because I got here in like 15 minutes. It's the fastest I've ever gotten here. I'm so ready to see what happens for the 4th and 20 baseball fantasy, because I really want all of you guys to just draft all Yankees players and just leave Marsh with Giancarlo.
Well, the gist of it is to have just Giancarlo on his team.
Yeah. I cannot wait, and I hope that is what becomes true, because that would just be.
I'm not sure how good that's going to make my team, but
it would just be great. It would be absolutely beautiful. Anyways, we're live on Podbean Live. We're live on YouTube. Anything you might want to say, you can put those in the comments on the Podbean Live. You can put them on the comments on the YouTube channel for all our YouTube viewers. How are you? Make sure to like the video. Make sure to like every stream that comes up. Make sure you have post notifications on, not personalized, all post notifications. It's right next to that subscribe button, which you should hit as well. We're at 311, slowly but surely making the climb up to 1,000. We will get there, and when we do, it'll be a great time. It'll be a great day. And then just as always, we're here with our polls every single day. You can find those on my Twitter at Samurai Radio, 2 I's in Samurai. You can also find them retweeted by the Onside Radio Twitter as well, of course, Onside Radio. Today's Kai's Corner polls for March 31st, 2021, as we get ready to already get into April 1st tomorrow. It feels like every single day is going by super quick, yet at the same time, it seems like they're all meshed together. But the first poll of the day is, do you care about pro day performances? Yes for quarterbacks at 4.8%. Yes for positional players at 32.3%. And no, they're stupid at 62.9%, leading the way. which I also agree with. And if you didn't hear already, Sean clapping in the background. So I'm glad that that's leading the way right now. The second one is when, essentially it's supposed to say when, but what will Victor Oladipo score in his Heat debut when he makes his Heat debut? Under 18 points is actually leading the way at 60.5. 19 to 21 points, second behind that at 26.3. 22 to 24 points at 5.3, and 25 plus at 7.9. So it seems like a lot of people are expecting not a lot from Victor Oladipo on his Heat debut. After that is, have you sat down and watched film of the 2020 Dolphins season? The reason why I ask this is because at the end of hour one, I'm going to have my own little confession about some things that I have thought about the Dolphins season that I was completely wrong about. So we're going to do that at the end of hour one. So far, leading the way, no with 63% of the vote, yes at 32.6%, and I plan on it at 4.3%. And then lastly, they are liars. Who wins the Champions League when all is said and done? Bayern Munich at 20%, Manchester City at 40%, Paris Saint-Germain at 23.3%, and other comment below at 16.7%. However, there's no comment, so I shouldn't have even included it because it's 16.7% of the vote out of the 30 voters, and there's no comment. So it is what it is. Next time, I'm not giving that option. Not giving the option at all. Anyways, as we get into today, and one of the main things with the pro days, again, we'll ask Jazz Santana in the second hour his thoughts on the UM pro day. But there was all this hype about pro days, right? How players are going to perform. There's all the hype about the combine and, wow, this player did this. Even last week, I was on the train of saying that pro days don't really matter that much. I still don't think that they do. And then Rondell Moore went out and jumped a 43.5-inch vertical, which I thought was crazy. Rondell Moore also had a 3-minute interview yesterday with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. It was god-awful. I don't even think he posted it as a clip. He usually posts all the interviews they do on the show as clips. It was horrendous. I would not recommend you go back and watch it unless you want to laugh, because it was pretty bad. But I don't think that these pro days matter as much as people make them out to be for certain things. My big thing is I think that they are stupid. I think all it is doing is it's a media thing, just like the combine has become a really big media thing. I think there's a lot of things that are very important for the NFL in terms of coaches, trades, free agency stuff, talking to agents, all that other stuff, what how you feel other, drafts are going to go out. So I think it's really important on that side of things. But I don't think that it's such a big important thing for these players. I mean, think about it. Mac Jones is considered a first-round pick right now. For whatever reason, I would not be able to tell you. And that's my personal opinion. I know some might think that Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I could not see it. And I was one that thought people are going to watch his pro day. He's going to make a couple really nice throws against air, and they're going to go goo-goo gaga over everything. It was actually quite the opposite. Mac Jones had a horrible, horrible pro day. And now it's like, oh, is Mac Jones still going to be a first-round pick? He's going to be a first-round pick. It's the market right now. I almost knocked down my coffee. It's the market right now. He's going to be a first-round pick. It's going to happen. No matter what. Like that, it's just how it is with Mac Jones. Which is why I begged the question in the poll, yes, for quarterbacks, because so many people seem to think that it matters. Throwing against air. I mean, when Trevor Lawrence had his before he got his shoulder surgery, they were like, oh, man, he sat there and he dropped this pass, hit him right where it mattered. Yeah, you're throwing against air. I don't understand why so many people, specifically for quarterbacks, go so goo-goo gaga, this is awesome, this is great, this is fantastic, over people throwing against air. These are throws that they do in practice. These are throws that should be routine for them to make. Throws that for these quarterbacks, if you're sitting there being talked about as one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, these should be throws that you make on a daily basis. I don't understand how going out there and making some of these throws that you've practiced time and time again change anything. Honestly, I don't get it. I can understand that there's certain things with like the 3-cone drills, there's certain things with the 40-yard dash, certain splits, how you do them. You want to do positional drills and see how quickly certain, linemen can get to the point of attack, whatever it is. That I think is very useful. You get to see up close and personal what that player can do on a day-to-day basis. I think that is very useful. At the same time, we've seen guys who are practice warriors who don't do it in game, where you've heard coaches talk, oh, this guy is fantastic in practice. He works hard. He's this, he's that. And it doesn't show up in game. All of this with the pro day is just media hype in my mind. And people really wanting to make something out of nothing. I don't like Mac Jones. I think that the perception that Mac Jones is better than Tua Tagovailoa, who is one of the most highly sought-after quarterbacks since Andrew Luck, is ridiculous. At the same time, I'm not going to knock Mac Jones for a bad pro day because you've seen players have bad pro days, and you can have a bad day. I don't think that these matter too much. I don't put the same stock that I'm not putting in Trevor Lawrence throwing against air is the same non-stock I'm going to throw against Mac Jones for missing against air. I'm not going to sit there and be wowed by Trevor Lawrence hitting a deep post against air. And I'm not going to be disappointed in Mac Jones missing a throw against air. Because you know who did the same kind of missed throws while training with Trent Dilfer last year? One of the most accurate, if not the most accurate college quarterbacks of all time in Tua Tagovailoa. Was drafted 5th overall. And all you hear about him from coaches, from analysts, from his own mentor in Ryan Tannehill is that he has, Ryan Fitzpatrick, not Ryan Tannehill. I want to make sure I'm going to correct myself there. I'm glad I caught myself there. Is elite anticipation and accuracy. That is all you consistently hear about Tua Tagovailoa. And he missed passes against air. It happens. I'm not going to knock Mac Jones the same way I'm not going to bring up Trevor Lawrence for throwing against air. When it comes to who proved what they could do over the course of their career, so far, Trevor Lawrence has proved that. Mac Jones did it in one season. You know who else did it in one season that got hyped up, who right now is the backup quarterback to Ben Roethlisberger's noodle arm in Pittsburgh? Dwayne Haskins. 1 year at Ohio State. Didn't turn out to be anything. They thought he was going to be a great quarterback. Oh, he's got all the intangibles. He's a big, strong quarterback. He can throw the deep ball. Look where he is now. 1 year does not mean anything. You always remember those 5th, 6th, 4th round guys that always turn out to be something. They have a pretty good pro day. They have a pretty good combine. But, they just, sometimes they weren't on the field or things aren't too flashy. Those are the guys like Brian Flores, Chris Greer, Bill Belichick, in terms of the talent evaluators. I just mentioned our staff here with the Dolphin staff here in Miami. And then, of course, you have to bring up Bill Belichick. You bring up guys like Kyle Shanahan. You bring up guys like, Pete Carroll. You bring up guys anywhere, Sean Payton. These coaches, Bruce Arians, Andy Reid, who look at this talent and are talent evaluators, those low-round guys are usually the guys that had pretty good production in college, never flashed, but they were consistently producing. And they get drafted by coaches who know that they could bring the best out of what they saw on tape and out of that production. These pro days aren't showing you anything for college quarterbacks. They're great for media. They're great for being able to talk and have these talking points and be upset with this and be upset with that. But they don't show you anything. The same throws that Lawrence made a month ago now, or a month and a half ago now, don't matter. the same throws that Justin Fields showed you yesterday. I want to see stuff like Najee Harris running routes. Show other routes that he can do as a running back. I want to see that. I want to see what routes can you run. I want to see how quick are you on your feet. Your intangibles. Your mentally, how are you? It's one of these things that we hear with Devonta Smith. Oh, he's too small. He's too skinny, long arms, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff that you've been hearing about Devonta Smith. And Ocho Cinco's been defending him a lot on Twitter. And one of the things that I remember the most out of Ocho Cinco when he was playing that he said consistently was that his big thing is that players like corners and safeties were scared of his feet because he always knew that he was going to be a step ahead mentally and in preparation. That's what I want out of my players, not that you're a combine workout warrior. Coming up next, we're going to dive a little bit into the new rules that have come out from the NFL with the 17th game season, possibility of an 18th game, if that ever comes to light, and then also just some other rules that might get voted in. Saturdays at 8 a.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio listeners always get our opinions on the biggest sports stories with our Roundtable segment. Find out what we said about the Dolphins, Heat, Canes, or Inter Miami CF.
Among the very top reasons why these stud high school players are going to choose a university is who puts players into the National Football League. What teams can show they have a track record of getting players the exposure and the development that they need to get to the NFL, to be drafted high, to make money.
Subscribe to Onside Radio on most platforms. Catch up with Big O, Dono, or Toast going crazy about the latest trades or games. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's choice for sports talk.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to Kai's Corner.
Listen, I know that I just said that pro days don't matter, and I want to agree with that. I just want to talk about measurements right now for Kyle Pitts because, of course, I am on the train of draft Kyle Pitts at number 6 and don't look back. It's like if you watch Draft Day, which is so unrealistic, but everyone loves Draft Day. I mean, it's one of the best movies ever. And it'll never, I mean, I see so many people hate on it, just like they hate on like Moneyball and all that stuff. And it's like, listen, it could be as unreal. It's a movie, but you cannot deny that it is awesome. So I am on the in Draft Day to say Vontae Mack no matter what. I'm Kyle Pitts no matter what. At number 6, I am taking Kyle Pitts after LSU takes Jamar Chase, after LSU's Jamar Chase goes at 5 to the Bengals. I do not care if he's even there at 6. I'm drafting Kyle Pitts. 6'5", 245, and has the biggest wingspan of any tight end or wide receiver in the last 20 years, breaking the record of DK Metcalf. Kyle Pitts is insane. Draft him at number 6 and watch our offense blossom into the greatest thing that could ever exist today and tomorrow and in the future. Kyle Pitts, no matter what. Anyways, we talk about our roundtable segment today as we do every single day. I was going to say week. And of course, yesterday we talked about the Miami Hurricanes. And I think I was able to listen back to what Big O said and what Dono said. And, you know, I kind of tend to agree with them a little bit. Obviously, I have a different perspective as an outside, not Hurricane fan. Today, we're talking about the 17-game season now that it is officially official. So the question is, what do you love or hate most about the NFL 17-game season? And the follow-up is, does it help or hurt the sport? I did talk about this yesterday a little bit in depth, but I think just to give my quick thing here is that I love the 17-game season. I absolutely love the 17-game season. I think that it's going to be great for the sport. I think the 17th game season was a big selling point on why the salary cap is going to move to $250 million in 5 years. And I am head over heels about getting more football. I also think that even though there is no official plan on adding a second bye week, you absolutely have to add a second bye week, whether it's this season or the season next. Toast has been saying it, and I agree with him so much. You could push the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend. And if you're able to do that, you will be able to have the opportunity to always get that Monday off. No matter what. Which is fantastic. So what I believe needs to happen is you add a second bye week. I 100% agree with Toast. For the 17 games, I think it's going to be fantastic. I like the idea of the showcase games, as I mentioned yesterday. However, I still do not believe that those should be the last game of the year. And I hope that when official scheduling comes out, that is not the case. Those games should not be the final games of the year. They're going to mean nothing. I don't want to watch Jordan Love go up against Chad Henne in the last game of the season. That means absolutely nothing. I don't care. I could care so much less about watching that game. I want to watch Aaron freaking Rodgers go up against Patrick Mahomes in like week 5. or not even, like let's say like week 10 or week 9, when it even starts to matter more. That's the game that I want to watch. I hope that they stay with the division games being the final week. AFC, NFC, NFC. As it comes to, do I think it hurts the sport? I don't think it hurts the sport at all. You're getting more eyes, you're getting more games, and it was a sticking point on why you got the $250 million salary cap in 5 years. The NFLP, or 2025, so 4 years. The NFLPA, as controversial as this signing of the CBA was, they signed it. The players themselves in the league voted to pass it. And it is what it is. You sign the dotted line, that's what you get. The players were hoping for more money. The players were hoping for more say. And as Omar said yesterday when we talked to him on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, he said it perfectly. The players signed that extension of the CBA ultimately for the ability to smoke weed. And I completely agree with that. Do I think it screws them over? 100%. But they signed the deal. It is what it is. They're not going to get anything else until March 2031, as reported by Tom Pelissero. So it is what it is. But also, in Article 31 of that, again, by Tom Pelissero, great reporting by him, by the way, it says, quote, the league and or clubs shall not increase the number of regular season games per club to 18 or more games. So that cannot happen until 2031. It most likely will by then when the new CBA starts to come through. But right now we're getting into the 17-game season. There's more that I want to reference about that in a later time. But 17-game season, don't think it hurts the sport. I love it as well. There's other things that were being voted on by, or that should be voted on. And one of those was the Sky Judge. So that, replays don't take as long and you have another opinion. One of the things that I think was such a huge sticking point for going out there and making sure you get calls right was that I do truly believe that Alberto Riveron did not want to undermine the decisions made by the referees that were calling the game on the field when we had the pass interference rule enacted. I think that that's something he did not want to do as the head of NFL officiating, and we saw how bad that was. He ruined that season by having these obvious pass interference calls reviewed and not switching the call on the field. The whole point of the beautiful game that we all know and love of football is not to go out there and be, I don't want to undermine the ref for making a bad call. It's a bang, bang game. Things happen within seconds. There's a hold on the offensive line every play. There's a face mask by either team on every play. There's holding by the defense, push-offs by the offense, every play. Bad calls are going to happen. And I don't think that refs should get killed for that. They happen. Go and be in their position and you'll understand how bad they are. Where it comes to a bad part is when they are so obviously wrong, they need to be adjusted. Adding a Sky Judge or adding someone that can go out there and definitively have the final say on a call after seeing all angles, who is watching them in replay in the stadium, not in New York, in the stadium, to go out there and make that call will make life so much easier for referees and will make life so much easier for the game that we all love. You won't get a Saints call. You won't get 2 Saints calls, actually. The one the year prior against the Rams, and the one the year after against the Vikings with Kyle Rudolph pushing off in the end zone. Those won't exist anymore. And the game will get it right. And that's what's important. Going to New York, sometimes you get it right, but it takes too long. Get the sky judge. Get someone to be in stadium that has the final say, the end-all, be-all on all calls that are coming through, and can definitively make the decision that if this happens and there is an egregious pass interference or call that is missed, not every call. I don't want him going out there and calling a hold on every play, because there's a hold on every play. I want he or she to go out there and make sure that whatever is getting messed up by missed calls gets corrected. I'm calling down from the booth and saying, no, we need to take a look at this play that matters for this playoff, that matters for this Super Bowl, that matters for getting to the playoffs. This game could determine this team's ability to get the playoffs. We need to get this right, so that we don't have situations like Alberto Riveron and the head of NFL officiating not wanting to undermine the decisions made by his referees, which is completely okay. You stick up for your employees. You stick up for your guys and girls. That's what Alberto Riveron did. We might not have liked it. We might have hated the fact that there were calls getting completely wrong all the time. But we need to make sure that we get these right. We cannot continuously get these wrong. This needs to be adjusted, and I think a sky judge desperately needs to be added. Coming up here, we're going to have on Royal Shepherd from 5 Reasons Sports. We'll talk to him about the Miami Heat, the MCU, and just anything else that we can with Royal on our Royal Wednesdays here at Onside Radio. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest. Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Watch Toast get frustrated with Marsh. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Riddle me this, with all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, we're back. If you're on YouTube, you might have just seen me spill coffee all over my mask. So the next break, I'm literally going to have to run and grab a mask. If not, I'm going to be soaked in my smelly coffee mask. Anyways, we have on Royal Shepherd now from 5 Reasons Sports. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Royal A Shepherd. That's at Royal A SHEPHERD. Royal, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well today, Kai, man. I like that T-Mobile shirt that you got on.
Thank you. It's my Bayern Munich jersey, you know. Going to win the Champions League. Everything's good, man.
Yeah, man.
I love it. I'm glad that I didn't spill I'm glad my coffee went on my mask and not on my shirt, because this is a nice cream white shirt. It would have been upsetting. Anyways, Royal.
Yeah, we could have seen her on YouTube.
Yeah, and it would just look so much worse too. So the Miami Heat have the game against the Pacers tonight. They are currently sitting in 8th in the Eastern Conference. They beat the Knicks the other night on Monday, finally ending that 6-game losing streak. Today, what happens against the Pacers?
I think Miami pulls out another W. We're not going to have Victor Oladipo tonight. I think he's going to return tomorrow when we play Golden State. But I think Miami uses the momentum from the last game to try and start a trend of winning games. They're going to try and start to use the second half of this season to claw their way back into that 4th spot so that they can have home court advantage come playoff time. But I honestly believe that that win, the defensive performance that they put on in that last win, is going to help them moving forward today.
So without Victor Oladipo, it means we're not getting that revenge game, which kind of sucks, right? Like, not only do we need the revenge game against the Pacers after those 2 embarrassing losses, but Vic doesn't get his game against the Pacers. That's got to suck a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but Victor Oladipo hasn't played back-to-back games all season long, really pretty much since he had his injury, and so we shouldn't expect for him to do it now. But one of the good things is that he'll make his debut at home versus Golden State as opposed to on the road. So that should be fun for fans.
You think that they're going to win a back-to-back like this? Or you think it's going to end up being a 1-1?
I'm gonna be positive today, Kai. So
that's a change.
Go winning both of them. Yeah, listen, man. I'm trying to change my tune because this team has been making everybody a little bit disappointed. That 6-game losing streak was tough. Yeah. So I'm going to try and change my tune a little bit. I'm going to put positivity out there in the atmosphere, and hopefully they can return that to me in form of wins.
And make you a little happy. Because it's funny, yesterday when we talked to Ariel Atias, one of the things that he mentioned was that he said it's enough excuses. No more excuses. And I had to agree with him because, like, I get it. He said, no, this should be, Pacers, Warriors, Cavs, wins. All 3 wins, no more excuses. And I think that is not looking like on the positive side. It's more looking on the, when you really think about it, yeah, he's right. These next 3 games should be 3 wins, especially considering that you get the reinforcement in Victor Oladipo tomorrow. I want to ask for one of the polls that we have today, which is whenever he makes his debut with Victor Oladipo, how many points do you think he scores? We have less than 18, between 19 and 21, between 22 and 24, and 25 plus.
I think between 22 and 24 is what we should be looking for him. I think about 23 points, maybe 4 or 5 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds is what people can expect from Victor Oladipo in his first game. He's a very talented scorer, but we have to keep in mind that he's going to be the 3rd option on this team when he gets here behind Jimmy and Bam. So they may try and do a little to help him get acclimated early on. So I do see him scoring between 22 to 24 points in that first game.
So you think that he's going to be able to be fine, though? Like, do you think he's going to be able to acclimate to the offense pretty well?
Yeah, I think he's talented enough to be able to fit into any offense. He's smart enough as a basketball player to find his role, fit in it, and do it and excel in it. So I'm not worried about Vic's transition into the offenses at all. I'm more worried about how we're going to get Bielitsa going after his first 5-minute stint didn't go so well.
And that was a guy, Royal, that you wanted for a while. I remember a long, long time ago when I was filling in for Ethan, and I remember asking you, you're like, oh, yeah, there's John Collins, there's this. He's like, but someone I'm looking for is Nemanja Bjelica. And so every time I was thinking about it, when that happened, I was like, it's the guy that Royal wanted a while ago.
He's cheap, Kai, and he can shoot, and he can dribble, and he can play make. Like, he's a very talented big guy. He's big enough. He doesn't rebound all that great, but I think he provides similarly the same things that Kelly Olynyk provided us. I think he can provide some forms of those things, and that's why I've been on this train all along.
So, how do you think of Kelly Olynyk, by the way, coming with like his first start with the Rockets, doing all his stuff?
Contrary to most of the Heat fan base, I've been a big fan of Kelly Olynyk since he got here. I've always loved Kelly Olynyk's game. I understand why he was traded, and I understood the need for kind of moving some things around with him. But I expect Kelly to do well. I wish him nothing but success until he plays Miami. Then I hope he gets blown out by 40 points. But every other game, I don't mind, that he plays well.
You want to get blown out by how much you said? Did you say 40?
40. Every time he plays Miami, I want him to get blown out by 40 points.
That's so mean.
I wanted to blow Wade out by 60 points, when he played for Chicago.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I wanted to blow his ass.
I never. What do you actually? Another side thing here. I mean, it's Heat related, but it's like I asked Ira about this last week as well. Did you watch D Wade on the I Am Athlete podcast last week?
I did. Was that the one where he was talking about Zaya?
Yeah, he was talking about Zaya, and he was also talking about kind of his exit from the Heat. And one of the main sticking points, and I laughed at it with Ira because I thought it was funny, is they were really trying to bait him into talking crap about Hassan Whiteside and the Miami Heat. And it was consistently Hassan. Like, they weren't talking about the other contracts. They said, man, you should have gotten your contract. They gave Hassan 4 years, 72. And he was being very respectful about it. But do you think that maybe Wade has that spite where he's like, they gave this dude, Hassan Whiteside, a 4 year, $72 million contract and made me leave to Chicago?
I think any resentment that Wade harbored towards the Miami Heat organization and what they did during that summer was all let go once his agent died. And they made that reconciliation. I think any, ill will that he had towards the organization was gone. And so by the time he got back, there was nothing there. And to this day, he's shown that, he's a big enough person to have moved past that. And now he's just at a different stage in his life. I don't think he harbors any ill will towards that time.
So you think that he's just kind of, you know what, I want to be respectful of my, my team. It's, Wade County and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Wade is a legend out here, man. And it's for more than just the way that he played basketball. It's the way that he carried himself during his entire career down here. And I think he wants to continue that being that type of person after. I think that's genuinely who he is. He's a forgiving guy. He's a nice man. He's just a good dude. And so you kind of like you expect this from Wade. You don't expect him to take shots at the organization or any players. You just expect him to stay on brand. And he's going to be like that for the rest of his time in the media or in the spotlight.
The follow-up to this, outside of Miami Heat stuff, I want to ask you because I learned when I was setting up my stuff for the show that Marsh from 4th and 20 has only seen one Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and it was Thor Ragnarok, and he has yet to watch Iron Man. What do you have to say to someone like Marsh in order to get him to finally sit himself down and watch the greatness that is the MCU?
Well, one of the things that he has to understand is that he started out with a great choice because Thor Ragnarok is one of the better movies in the entire franchise. But it's people who like storylines that are interwoven throughout an entire series. Like, you would love this because everything is connected in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From the beginning to the end, there is an Easter egg here or an Easter egg there, or a piece of the story that you may miss in one a movie that you get in the other. And so in order to have the full experience, you have to watch them all, and then you'll eventually go back and rewatch them so that you'll catch the things that you missed. But they're just all great movies. They're very well done. The storytelling is impeccable throughout the movies, the series, the cartoons, everything that they're trying to do with that universe is wonderful. So I think whenever you get an opportunity, you should go back and watch it.
Lastly here, and very quickly here, Royal, your favorite of the MCU movies was what?
Black Panther, Kai. I'm black.
Royal, I'm just... You hear Sean laughing in the background, too. Like, at least give a simple answer about it,
Well, I mean, it is civil. I think but Black Panther, just for what it stood for, like, culturally, it was really big to see somebody of that magnitude be put on the big screen. So it was a momentous occasion for a lot of African American people. So I really loved that movie, and Chadwick Boseman did an amazing job playing the character. So I really loved that movie for those reasons.
I think Sean, do you have anything to say to that? I feel like you might have something.
No. I was just shaking my head. He's right on.
All right, yeah. So that's perfect. All right, Royal, thank you so much for joining, man. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Royal A. Shepherd. That's Royal ASHEPHERD. This has been our Royal Wednesdays here every Wednesday at Kai's Corner. Royal, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me, Kachi and Chisholm.
And he said it right.
Yeah, he did. He's always got it. Thanks, Royal. Have a great one, man.
You do the same, bro.
Love talking with Royal. I love talking with Royal, especially whenever I catch him in some of the post-game stuff for the Heat. When I'm able to sit down and actually watch it, I'm not going to sleep early like I have been lately. I can just talk to him and enjoy that. I love talking with Royal. When we come back, again, we're going to have a confession that I have to make about one situation with the Dolphins this past season after sitting down and watching some film that I think a lot of people are going to find very interesting. Sundays, OnSideRadio.com continues to provide you the kind of sports talk South Florida fans desire. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., tune into the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. You can also catch Jazz in the second hour here, but catch Jazz every week as he takes your calls and discusses the biggest stories in sports. That's the Sunday Sports Drop, 7 to 9 a.m., exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Sundays at 9 a.m., Juan Cardona dominates the airwaves with Juan on Juan. From sneakers to video games to your favorite South Florida team. Tune in every Sunday to Juan on Juan, exclusively on your home for sports talk in South Florida, OnSideRadio.com.
These are unprecedented times, challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple 100 years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
If you missed it, we talked with Royal Shepherd in the last segment. You can find it in podcast form. It's always tweeted out by the Onside Radio Twitter as well. Shout out to Sean. As soon as that goes up, he's got it tweeted out. You can find it there. You can find it retweeted by me, or you can search up Kai's Corner on any of your favorite podcast platforms. And of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Royal A Shepherd. That's Royal A Shepherd. SHEPHERD. We have a confession that I need to make, and it's one on a certain player or players that I feel did not get the appropriate due that they deserve, and I suffer victim to some of that. So I recently decided that I was going to finally purchase the package to get all the coaches film stuff for the NFL, because I was like, you know what? I gotta make the investment. Instead of sitting back and watching other people talk about it, I want to sit down, watch every play, and go through it. I watched 2 games so far, back through each incompletion from Tua, every pass, and that's what I was looking for mostly. All the passing plays from Tua. I looked at the Rams game, and I looked at the Cardinals game. Those are the 2 games thus far that I have gone through and actually sat down and watched. And so far, through those 2 games, in the role in which Jakeem 19 was being used, I have to admit he is not as garbage as I and Juan Cardona make him out to be. Hence why I've officially decided to use his first name and call him Jakeem 19 and not just 19. I think he got a lot of crap for a lot of the stuff at the end of the year when he was being needed in a much larger role than what he should be used as. And I have to say, Jakeem 19 deserves a little more respect. He was not as bad last year in the role that he is supposed to be used in than I and Juan Cardona, although I don't know if Juan is going to admit his side, but I will admit from my side that it's not as bad as we have claimed that he has been. I think seeing him in a larger role, which he should not be used in, made everything worse. And I will hope that Jakeem 19 will be able to match up with Tua this season in a way, in a limited role that will work. So that's my confession on a player I feel that I did wrong in a lot of what I've been saying. Now, if he comes out and he sucks in his limited role at the start of the season, he's going back to 19. But right now, Jakeem or Jakeem 19 is what I will go with. He will get Grant when he shows me that he deserves Grant. back. But that is that. And the other thing is, I think that Tua is getting a lot of crap that he does not deserve. Just looking back and looking at some of the games and a lot of some of the incompletions, it'll say incomplete pass, Tua Tagovailoa on like even the game log sheet wasn't even his fault. So, you know, it is what it is. So we move on. Anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, if we can get it up, Sean, possibly. I know when you look at me, you just see the background of like just the wall and everything like that. But if you watch Toast and Marsh, and if you watch the crosstalk with me and Big O, you'll see the beautiful screen that we have up that has Onside Radio out. It's the pink and black that we have. That's from A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie. You can call them at 954-434-4774. They teamed up with Bandalux to personalize and create our Onside Radio shade. It's beautiful pink and black. And one of the things that I have harped on, and I want to say this as like, I'm not just reading you like an ad read. I'm not just trying to tell you something and be like, oh yeah, this and that, and just go through. My honest opinion, and I don't know if it shows up too much on like the camera on what you can see, but you cannot tell if that is up that there is a shade or a screen there. It just looks like it's a part of what the windowsill is. It's very nice and fit there. It looks fantastic. And that's one of the things that I know when I just look at houses and apartments and stuff like that, or even when I see certain shades and blinds that can go up and down, I absolutely hate when you can tell that there's something there. It is awesome. Like, you can barely tell. It's like those doors, when you see those doors that open and close and you can barely tell that there are even like doors coming through and out like that. I love that stuff. That's like the little things that just matter and make things look super beautiful. And not only that, the shade is awesome. It's blocking out the sun. We're going to be able to get more light in here. It has the Onside Radio logo plastered on there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. To order protection with style for your home or office, call A Shade Above Window Fashions like we did at 954-434-4774. You can also go to their website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in, A Shade Above Window Fashions. This has been hour 1 of Kai's Corner.
Hey, is that a faucet running? Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. It is? Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact... What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. How do trees clean the air? They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us. Cool. I didn't know that. Yep. But the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Hour 2 here on this beautiful Wednesday morning here at Inter Miami CS Stadium. I am Kai Chen Chisholm. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hello, how are you guys doing? If you're listening live, you can also go on YouTube. Leave anything you want in the comments. I will respond. I will talk. Let's have a conversation. And let's enjoy ourselves and have a great Wednesday. Make sure you like the video as well. Subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you hit the notification bell. But make sure it says all notifications and not personalized all notifications, so you can get notified every single time that a live stream goes live or a video gets posted onto the Onside Radio YouTube account. Sean Stanley, of course, being the producer of all producers here with me. I mentioned to him, and it's funny because it's part of my, I think that pro days don't matter, and I think that this is a big one. And if anyone listening thinks that maybe my Gator fandom is too much with what I love with Kyle Pitts, Marco Wilson, who most famously ruined the Gators' chances of getting to the college football playoffs by chucking someone's shoe, just broke the vert machine at his pro day, where he essentially went over the top. He destroyed it. And guess what? It still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter at all. Nothing matters. Literally nothing on that vert matters. Watch the film of Marco Wilson, and oh my, unless it was Todd Grantham all along this year, which could be the issue for the University of Florida defense, unless Todd Grantham was the only issue why Marco Wilson was horrible this season, then you know what? I will submit, and I will give my due an apology. But as it currently stands, Marco Wilson sucked this past year. Like bad. It was the level that Dolphins fans, if you want a comparison, if you didn't watch the Gators play this season, if you want a comparison for Dolphins fans on how bad Marco Wilson was, it's like watching Noah Igbenogany play after play against Stephon Diggs this past season. Just play that on repeat, and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, we go from that. I want to touch a little bit more. I want to get a little more in depth on something that I find interesting when it comes to records. This is going to stay within the area of the 17-game season, but people were talking about records this morning on how are you going to do them? Are they still going to matter? If you go undefeated in a 17-game season, do you then become the only, does that propel you over like a team that won 16-0? Does that propel you over, this and that? How do things matter? If you went, 19-1, in total instead of 18-1. If you do that, like the Patriots went 18-1 when they were undefeated. They lost that one game to the Giants in the playoffs. So instead of going 19-0, they went 18-1. So you would go 19-1 figuratively now. Does that make you better than this? Does it make you better than that? How are they going to do records for passing yards? Because that's one extra game. They're going to get broken. All these records are going to get broken. I think the way you handle this is there are records for the 16-game era, and now you have records for the 17-game era. I don't think Sean agrees with me, but I don't think that like a record for Drew Brees can be broken in the 17-game era and say that that quarterback would have done it in 16.
Yeah, but when you look at it that way, then you can just say, now we're in a pass-happy league, and if quarterbacks were in this era, so now you're going to break it down into eras every time?
I mean, do you want to
it's an undefeated season is what it is. Undefeated season.
That's a different thing.
Season would be winning all your games.
That thing's different. I'm talking about how you break it down in a different way. I'm saying with like passing records. Are we going to give
one more game? And honestly, most people are probably going to end up sitting out a game.
So let's say Justin Herbert 2 years from now shatters the record, but the only reason why he shattered that record was because of the last game of the season. Do we want to give him credit to holding that single season record, or like Patrick Mahomes does it? Let's say.
Why not? If he had a good enough season, just because he had look, if they bumped it up from 16 to 20, I could see it. That's 4 games. One game, maybe a 350-yard passing. You get maybe 400 if you want to go crazy. But I mean, it's one game. I don't see how you.
I just don't
sit there and think
like
one
it.
game is a big difference.
I mean, yeah, it is. What about Adrian Peterson? To get the Vikings to the playoffs, decided not to have that last run that would have given him the single season record of rushing yards. If he had one more game, he destroys that record.
Yeah, but that's a complete season.
Correct.
If you got to that point and you needed one more game to break the record, I mean, so you're going to break that down and be like, well, in 16 games he did this. But with the 17th game, now he's broken the record. I mean, what, we're going to start putting asterisks?
Probably. I feel like we have to.
It's the you youngins. That's the problem. The youngins.
The youngins.
You break a record. You break a record. Congratulations.
Okay, but through 17 games is like I feel like we have to at least know what type of situation they're in. It's like everyone talks about Dan Marino. If Dan Marino was in the league now, he would throw for 6,000 yards. I think that's very realistic, but that's not. I'm not talking about Dan Marino possibly throwing for 6,000 yards. 10 years, 20 years past his playing. I'm saying, like, these records that stand now, if someone's sitting there, and let's say they're at under, let me get the actual NFL.
But Marino's records just got, were just getting broken, too. So, again, records are made to be broken. Everybody doesn't get a certificate. Everybody doesn't get a trophy.
But that's so. Okay.
Things change.
So let's say that through 16 games, Patrick Mahomes, for some crazy reason, has 5,300 yards. Puts him right under Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, but right over Tom Brady. That next game he plays, he gets that extra 200 yards passing. Now he's above Peyton Manning, all-time single-season leading passer.
Congratulations, Patrick Mahomes, the new passing leader.
I hate
mean, everybody doesn't get a trophy, Kai. I mean, come on, dude. Really?
But that's giving everybody a trophy.
It's one game. This is what the owners want, this one game, right? You got to give the player something. I get it. They signed it away for, some weed, smoking weed,
yeah.
some also updates on the medical thing and that side of the game. But records are made to be broken. Just because you had a game don't mean you got to do a whole nother record.
So what if in 2031 it goes to 18? Do you think then that there needs to be some consideration? That's 2 extra games?
I think you got to go like to 19 or 20 before I start saying anything like that. I mean, at that point.
I mean, I understand your point of view from it because I get like it is only one game.
Because remember, back then, what was the season? I think it was only 14 games.
Yeah, just about.
For a long time, and then it went up to 16, and then now we're at 17. So, I mean, ultimately, so what are you going to do? Any records that are back from those 14-game periods now, they become the 14-game period?
Well,
Nobody was complaining when people were breaking those records.
Yeah.
But now we're here with the youngins, and now everybody needs a trophy. Everybody needs a trophy.
I don't know.
Or there's got to be a reason why this reward can be broken. One extra game. I mean,
I don't
my
know.
goodness.
I don't agree with the everyone needs a trophy. I remember when I was doing flag football coaching and everything like that. We had lost our last game, and our starting quarterback had gone out with the flu literally that game, and he was the only quarterback that we could play. And we were dominating our league. And when we lost that game, I remember I had, obviously these are little kids. I'm trying to, keep them there. But they had the same mentality that I did, where it's like, you know what? No, there's no participation trophy. There's no second place. We lost. We're coming back next year. Pandemic happened. We weren't able to come back. But, I don't agree in the everyone gets a record for or a trophy for anything. A comment from NorCal Doll fan here on YouTube says, the records are being broken due to soft, I don't want to start cursing any words because I'm going to.
Ass rules.
All right, you know what? Yeah, soft ass rules. There you go, Sean, of today's game. You could also argue that's a great, fantastic point because, and again, it's like I hear Chad Ochocinco talk about a lot of this essentially is why there's some teams sometimes that I reference him a lot because he even referenced, it's like in his day, if you're trying to get down the middle and you're trying to get in the middle of the field, you should get ready that Brian Dawkins is coming for a heater and he's going to light your ass up and you're going to fall. Like that's going to happen. So I do agree, that's a great point because that is one of those situations. There are some soft rules now for quarterbacks, especially for quarterbacks. And then with the wide receivers and the holding and this, sometimes you have to let plays play on. You cannot just continuously try to nitpick at everything that's going on and be like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes got tapped on his shoulder. So that's you're going to get ejected from the game. And on top of that, we're going to give a 15-yard penalty for that. Some of that stuff is ridiculous. And some of the holding and grabbing, again, it goes back to the NFL officiating. There are holds and grabs from every player on every play. Tiny little push-offs, I don't care. But the egregious ones need to be dealt with. And I think that that's a part of the, rules are being broken with, the soft rules. Think about it.
The soft ass rules.
I can't because it'll slip out of my vocabulary, and I try to keep as much of a clean sheet with my vocab as I can, Sean, because I will go like a sailor.
I'll be the devil on your shoulder.
Okay, that's fine with me because I need to, I can't cap myself when I start going, so that's why I've been clean. But no, I agree, and there are a lot of soft rules, and I mean it comes back to last year. One of the big things, and it was watching back in that Arizona game. There were 3 defensive pass interferences called on Xavier Howard against DeAndre Hopkins. All 3 were the absolute softest calls that I have ever seen. And the first one, which was one of the most egregious, came when he was backpedaling, playing the ball, and DeAndre Hopkins jumped onto him, and they called that a defensive pass interference. It was offset because of another foul that happened on the Cardinals. But all of it goes back to officiating for me. It's all ridiculous. But to look into some of the yards, I actually want to see this with you, Sean. Can you guess the yardage area that Peyton Manning is at from that 2013 season where he is the NFL single season passing yard leader? Can you guess the ballpark of where he's at?
In 2013, you're saying?
2013 is when he set the record. It hasn't been even close to being reached since 2019 with Jameis Winston.
This is in a season you're talking about?
In a season, yeah.
What was he, 5,400, I think?
Yeah, 5,477 yards. 2013 when he played with Denver, and they had that outstanding season. The only reason why Adam Gase has ever had a job in the NFL. Dan Marino, through all of these seasons, Dan Marino still sits at 10 with 5,084 in that 1984 season for the Dolphins. Still sitting at 10, which is awesome. Great to see. Something I didn't even note or notice, which is kind of surprising to me, Ben Roethlisberger sits at 7th with 5,129 in 2018. which is crazy to think about because Ben Roethlisberger's arm has been dead for quite some time. So that must have been the last season that he had any pop in his arm.
Wasn't that the big Juju Smith-Schuster coming out party?
I'd have to think that it was with him and the bees, everything like that. And I'd have to think that was the one. Something like that. But I can't believe that surprised me because I never thought of Ben as like a high passing yardage. Like I always think of him as being Big Ben. He's going to make some of the throws, but not to that extent. Even Eli Manning is on this list at almost 5,000, 4,933. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, we're going to have on Jazz Santana next, the host of the Sunday Sports Drop here on Onside Radio from 7 to 9 a.m. We will talk to him. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio listeners always get our opinions on the biggest sports stories with our Roundtable segment. Find out what we said about the Dolphins, Heat, Canes, or Inter Miami CF.
Among the very top reasons why these stud high school players are going to choose a university is who puts players into the National Football League. What teams can show they have a track record of getting players the exposure and the development that they need to get to the NFL, to be drafted high, to make money.
Subscribe to Onside Radio on most platforms. Catch up with Big O, Dono, or Toast going crazy about the latest trades or games. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's choice for sports talk.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O. Air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to Kai's Corner.
All right, we're having on Jazz Santana of the Sunday Sports Drop, as Sean Stanley loves to say. Jazz, how you doing, man? What happened? Sean was saying he got a voicemail, and then he was like, listen, Jazz Santana, you better answer.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this guy anymore. I'm here, man. I'm here for you. Always here for you. Sean, I don't know, but for you, I'm always here for you, man.
Uh-oh, Sean's got something to say now.
No, I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, well, anyways, Jazz, first off, I want to ask you about, I know you asked me yesterday, you're like, hey, you into fantasy baseball at all? And I was like, nah, I watch my Mets play, and I just, drown in my sorrows and just move on from there. What are you expecting from opening day? Are you excited to I'm guessing you're a Marlins fan, correct, being in Miami, or are you like March where you're like a Yankees fan or something?
Well, I'm definitely not a Yankees fan. Listen, I'll root for the Marlins. They're the hometown team, but I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, man. So there you go.
Oh, Jazz.
Yeah, I am a Red Sox fan, my friend.
How did that happen?
Well, so I guess growing up, right, I obviously I played college ball, I played high school baseball, and so I was more of a fan of players, right? Ken Griffey being my favorite baseball player of all time. However, as I started getting a little older, right around probably the late 90s, started to pick up on Boston Red Sox baseball. My family's from Boston, and so my mom used to go to a lot of the games, and so they kind of just stuck. And obviously the rest is history is, they started winning some championships and all that. So it was a nice run that we had there in the early 2000s and even in the late, after in the 2010s too. So it was kind of fun, but I'm just stuck with them, man. And so just been a Red Sox fan ever since.
I can't believe that you're a Red Sox fan. It's a valid reason, but oh my God, the Red Sox. I can't.
Josh Beckett, after he left the Marlins and he went over to to Boston, Michael O. So, it was nice. It was a nice little, hey, I got to see the Marlins win World Series down here. I actually went to Game 7 in 99 and 97 as well for the Marlins against the Indians. That was kind of nice. That was neat to experience also. So, I'm a fan of both, man. I root for both. If the Marlins are doing well, then, hey, congratulations. I'm all for it. But I'm a Red Sox fan through and through.
All right, well, we'll let it pass. Anyways, with that as well, what's one of the things that you are looking at with I'm a big person on I think that pro days mean absolutely nothing. had their pro day recently, and a lot of their players shine, and it was talked about a lot in the media, of course, because when you hear these outstanding numbers, these verts, these 40s, 3 cones, all this stuff, everyone goes up in arms and they're going crazy. What are your thoughts on pro days in general? And then following that, how do you feel the players did on their pro day?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, pro days are kind of, sometimes the numbers are inflated, and you'll see guys that say, "Oh, I ran a 4.3," and they actually ran a 4.5 or whatever. I mean, for me, I look at those numbers and I say, really, this 0.2 of a second really matters so much, and for some people it does. But let's be honest, like, who's running straight line anyways in the 40s, right? Unless maybe you're a wide receiver,
right,
or maybe a running back on a breakaway. If you're breaking away, but for me, it's more about like the El Cone drills and all that stuff are kind of cool to see the agility, but yeah, is it overrated? Sure. However, then you get numbers like what Jalen Phillips put up, and he may have made himself a little extra money in the draft, running a 4.5, 4.56 40 at 6'5", 260 pounds. I mean, I don't know if people expected him to do that. Right. So that's kind of nice to see. So, yeah, and at the same time, it kind of firms up, what Greg Rousseau did. They kind of expected that, so he's still going to be, a first-round pick. The most exciting one was, I think, the ones that are the unexpected, which is a Quincy Roche, who did really well. Ran a 4.6 40. Bench, had some good bench numbers, whatever. For me, that's about, okay, he's strong, whatever. But at the same time, like, if you're an edge rusher, do you really, need to see humongous bench numbers? I don't think so, because it's more about technique. It's more about, where you put your hands and how you're able to rush the pass. It's not only bull rushing, right? You're not just bull rushing an offensive lineman. So, yeah, it's a little bit, overplayed, overstated, but it's nice to see that certain players with that, with that 40 speed, because the scouts eat it up. It is what it is. The scouts eat it up. Oh, he ran a 4.3 40. Jamar Chase apparently just ran
4-3-8 unofficial.
Yeah,
so
I
now
think
it's
they
like, okay, should the Dolphins take Jamar Chase instead of Kyle Pitts, or what
no,
are they going to do?
well,
It's just, you know.
let's end that. Let's end that talk. That is no. It should be Kyle Pitts at number 6. And then the other one, it's whatever. But I want to ask
Look,
how
coming from a Gator, I get it, but at the same time, I do agree also. So
okay, so yeah, what do we mean coming from a Gator? You get it. You agree with me. Anyways, Jazz, with the player, like how important. It was one of the roundtable things we did, and I'll be looking forward to hearing how you talk about it on Sunday as well, because I know that you'll probably get into that conversation as well. One of the roundtable things here yesterday was talking about how important it is for these guys, you know, that are these first-round potential guys, you know, in Jalen Phillips, in Gregory Rousseau, in Brevin Jordan, to either get in that high second round or into the first, you know, be in that high to low first round and be these guys. How important do you think it is for the UM program?
Well, I think it's huge. I think it's big for any program, to be honest with you. I think when you start building that legacy of having those first round players starting to get drafted again, right? Obviously, Miami was known for that, and it's just been a while since they have consistently, these first round picks. I just think it's good for the program as a whole, because it builds the legacy, it builds that prestige that high school recruits and other coaches and other players, kind of look at it and say, well, this is a place I want to be. This is a place where I know that I can be developed into a first-round talent and possibly, be that guy that gets drafted and continues the program prestige and the legacy. And I think that goes for any team. I think that's why you see so much success with let's say Alabama getting just about anybody, but then you've got this is going to be great for LSU's program, continuing the tradition of wide receivers and cornerbacks that are coming out of that program. And Florida now, I mean, what tight end doesn't want to go play at Florida because of Kyle Pitts and, back in the day with the other guy, I won't mention his name. And
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't mention the name. There's also Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was also at UF.
Jordan
He was a pretty
Reed,
good tight end.
Trey Burton. Burton was another guy that, he's doing well in the league. So, I think it helps. It only helps. I don't think it's not just kind of something that people kind of blow off and say, well, okay, he had one first-round draft pick. These are prestigious programs, all of them. And so if you continue to have first-round talent, then you're going to continue to get players that want to come and get developed by the coaching staffs that are there now. And one thing that Miami has done really well is have really good defensive line coaches, okay, from Todd Stroud to Jeff Simpson to Kuligowski. I mean, they've had really good defensive line coaches, and you're starting to see that with the development of all these guys. And now the next wave that's coming in, same thing with them. So, I mean, it's just going to continue, it's a revolving door at this point. And if they can continue to get those guys and those guys, that can only be do well for the program.
So from there, I want to ask, with the Dolphins, I know I said, obviously, and you said you agree with me, but out of all these guys that you have the potential to go after at 6, do you think, with how the draft is being said to shape out, that the Dolphins should stick at 6 or try to maybe trade down to 8 if maybe Carolina sees something valuable at 6 and still come away with a guy like a Kyle Pitts or a Jamar Chase?
Well, I mean, look, 6 to 8 may not make a difference who they draft, right? So if you can get some additional draft picks and maybe, recover another, maybe another first-round pick or, something in 2022 and still get Kyle Pitts. Look, Kyle Pitts is a generational talent. Forget about his position, right? He's not a tight end. For me, he is a badass football
He's a dominant
player,
force.
Right? So
he's just a dominant force.
He's the guy that's going to change, your team on the offensive side of the football, of course, right? He's going to be the guy that's going to command the double team, or he's going to command attention, okay? And he's still going to be able to, kind of get over that, okay, well, we're going to have to double team or we're going to have to game plan around Kyle Pitts. It doesn't matter. He's still going to dominate. That's the kind of guy I think that Kyle Pitts can be. So if you're talking about something like that, a generational player like Kyle Pitts, then, yeah, I mean, if you can still get him at 8 and still accumulate some more draft picks or another player, whatever the case is, then, yeah, why the hell not? You're not going to go for a quarterback. So if Carolina wants to move up and get, Justin Fields or Trey Lance or whoever it is that they're looking for, you're still going to be able to get Kyle Pitts at 8. Yeah, man. Why not? Who's at 7? I don't even know who's at 7.
Oh, my God, Brain. Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit needs a lot more than just Kyle Pitts to, be in the conversation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so they may go after Jamar Chase. They need wide receivers over there.
They love drafting tight ends, though. That's the thing that's a little, Eric Ebron, TJ Hawkinson, they like drafting these tight ends. So that's one of the things that I don't know. I personally want to stick at 6. But Jazz, thank you so much for coming on, man. Of course, you can follow Jazz on Twitter at Jazz Santana. You can also listen every Sunday here at Onside Radio from 7 to 9 a.m. for the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz. Jazz, man, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, man, go Red Sox.
Oh, God. Anyways, get him off the phone, Sean. Red Sox, oh, my God, I can't even do that anymore. Sean let me know here before we break. Sean let me know that Kyle Pitts ran a 4.4. I want to shout out Jakari Givens, who when Kyle Pitts ran a 4.46 about 2 weeks ago, said that there's no way that Kyle Pitts is a 4.4 guy. There you go. He is a 4.4 guy. Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute, hosted by Toast, myself, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review OnsideRadio.com, the station gamers call home.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
OnsideRadio.com gives you a ton of options to listen to the station. You can now download free apps from Radio.net, Podbean, and Simple Radio. Download any of these free apps and listen to your favorite Onside host. Visit our website at OnsideRadio.com to find all these links.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Kyle Pitts ran a 4.4, and that's it is what it is. I will not be convinced otherwise. And again, I just Kyle Pitts no matter what. I don't think there's no other way you sway me unless Kyle Pitts is picked before then, and then you go off of that, and yeah, you go from there.
Unless he becomes Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, unless that, like, unless something happens with Kyle Pitts where you can't go out and get him, like, because of some off the field issue.
That's it.
Like, there's no way that you decide not to go after him. And I know, I mean, if you want to mention, like, kind of your thoughts on it, because I know Sean just did turn on the mic, kind of what you think. Like,
no, well, I've said it already. This is all about Pitts and Chase. I've already said
Right.
this from the second the trade happened. I told everybody 4 quarterbacks are going, and Trey will be the 4th guy because he fits. He's like Ryan Tannehill, and Arthur Smith left Tennessee to Atlanta.
Right.
So he's going to look at Trey Lance and say, okay, so Justin will go 3, and then obviously we know Zach and this guy. Panay's going to go 5 because the Bengals.
but will they go Jamar? That's the thing.
No, Bengals will not go Jamar because they have to protect their guy.
Yeah.
Their guy took a beating and he went. They didn't protect him last year and he went out with a knee injury. They're going to get Panay Sewell. It's the smartest thing to do for them. There are plenty of receivers in the draft. Like the Bengals aren't, and they have a good receiving core actually. They actually have a couple of guys that are pretty good. They're fine. They don't have to get a receiver right now. That would be really stupid. Even though Jamar Chase is a can't miss in my eyes, it's stupid. So Chris Greer knew that the 4 quarterbacks are going to go. Panay will go 5, and he's going to be sitting there going, I got Pitts and Chase. Chase ran a 4.38.
Yeah.
So whether it's a 4.38 or a 4.4 tight end, you can't lose. I think they take Pitts. Worst case scenario, they end up with Jamar Chase. That's the way I see it.
And that's like the best worst case scenario possible. Like,
they're taking the same player they would have taken at 3.
Exactly.
Except now they have they're not locked into Pitts yet because Atlanta's the one team that could say, no, we're gonna go tight end because they've done that traditionally.
Yeah.
You know. So they lost their guy in free agency to Cleveland. Before that, it was Tony Gonzalez. So they like their tight ends there. But the thing is, Matt Ryan's at the end of his run. So maybe you don't.
That would hurt me. If they drafted Kyle Pitts at 4, I would be in pain.
But you can't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be in pain.
That's what's going to stop them from getting Pitts. If not, Pitts goes 6 to Miami. I'm with you. Only way I don't draft him is if he's, obviously Deshaun Watson, he's got 20 women accusing him of sexual assault, then you can't touch him.
Yeah, it's like even if Kyle Pitts gets like a gas mask situation, I don't care. I'm drafting him at 6.
What's weed,
There's
bro?
like
Give me a
that
break.
like that stuff like
Oh God, a college student hit a joint. Oh my God. It's breaking news. It's the end of the world. Next thing you'll tell me, they went to a kegger. Oh my God.
It's
over.
It's stupid stuff in my like.
By the way, do they still call it a kegger? No, right? Because that's like an old term, right?
Like a keg, like beer?
Yeah, like you have a kegger is called like when you go to a party that they got a keg.
Yeah, like you pop a keg open or
and
something like that.
everybody's just drinking galore. I don't know what the hell they call it now.
I mean, I know what a keg is. I'm not a party person. I've never kind of been in that.
I was, when I was really, 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 really young, younger than even you.
Yeah, no, I've always been kind of a I don't know. My favorite thing while drinking, I talk this with Sean all the time, is like I just like to sit there and chill out. I don't like to go out there and do stuff. Like I'll sit back and just hang out and vibe and chill out. If I do go a little bit and drink a lot, then it's just off of like it has to be something important, like a birthday or just going out and like I know for sure once we're finally at a little bit of a normal state, that I'll go out there and I'll enjoy myself a little bit with like some friends and stuff, just because it's that kind of sense, like feeling of like, oh my God, we made it. Like we're here, we're alive, everything's great in the world. So I know I'll go from that part.
Well, you got NorCal listening to you.
Yeah, I know. I was about to go off of that.
You know, he's like on the left coast.
Yeah, he said, yeah. I've been talking with him in the
He's
chat.
like 3 hours behind us, so
yeah,
it's early when he's
commitment.
getting up to listen.
It is commitment. I also want to shout out Herman Cueva. He's been consistently coming on here
Always.
on the YouTube. Want to thank you a lot as well. I don't think there's no off the field issues with Pitts. there's never been anything, especially in Florida. It's always been wide receivers with UF. That's always. I mean, I guess the other one is thou who shall not be named. Who he had his off the field issues, went to the Patriots. Had
your share of defensive players that had runs.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the big ones.
The urban years, everybody got arrested.
Pouncey kind of had a couple things as well.
Urban was kind of like Oprah. We have an arrest for you, an arrest for you, and an arrest for you, and an arrest for you. You know, it's Urban was Oprah.
Yeah, it's the
negative,
biggest,
but you know,
the biggest one was the Antonio Callaway, Kadarius Toney. That like when Toney was a freshman and Callaway was a junior, like that was like the big. Or I think he was a sophomore because that was the year that he blew up for the Gators and it destroyed his draft stock completely. In terms of Callaway. So that's the only thing I know. A lot of people with Kadarius Toney, there's a little bit of the off the field stuff. I think it's been very much cleared up since.
Well, he's
that
been
moment,
a good citizen since.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So maybe, hey, listen, bro, we're all young. We all do. It wasn't really that criminal that he was doing.
No, it was. I can't remember what it was correctly.
It was something like it was immaturity stuff, but it wasn't like he was, committing any kind of serious crimes, right?
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, but it of course was just it wasn't a great look for the program. Wasn't
it was
a great look for the
embarrassing,
players,
but it wasn't. Yeah,
but it wasn't like that.
It wasn't
big.
Urban Meyerish.
Yeah, I think that was under. Oh my God, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Muschamp.
Yeah, Will Muschamp or however the hell you pronounce his last name.
Muschamp.
I hated all of those coaches that came after Urban. I hated every single one of them. God, it was bad. But I hate that with Antonio Callaway too because I loved Antonio Callaway so much. Like I feel like every year for the draft I get that one player that I really, really, really fall in love with, and usually it's never a Gator. Like because I watch my team play and I'm like, you're not going to make it in the NFL. You're not going to make it in the NFL. You're not going to make it in the NFL. This is like the first year for a while that I've looked at like a Gator playing and I'm just like, damn, I think that this guy is going to be a dude. And that's Kyle Pitts, I think, is the obvious one. But I just think that Kadarius Toney is going to make an NFL team so happy. Like, I just think that he's going the only issue that I would have is if he goes to like the Jets or something like that. I feel like maybe it's going to be bad. But like if we look at, I want to look at the NFL draft order really quick just to make sure, because there's a couple teams where if he's able to go to them, you just look at that and you're just like, it's prime time for him. Like if he ends up going at like 23 to the Jets, I'll be pissed off. If he goes to Pittsburgh, I'll be upset. If he lands in a team like Baltimore, a team like Green Bay, even Buffalo, although he'd be here, I would hate it, like because he'd be in our division. Kansas City, Tampa, that would be, even Indy would be outstanding for him to land at and have a spot for Kadarius Toney, and he would make all those quarterbacks happy. Carson Wentz would get a nice little blanket to throw down to, someone who can create in space. Even, Baker Mayfield for Cleveland, that would be great for him. For Lamar in Baltimore, that would be awesome. Even Jameis or Taysom in New Orleans, like those lower tier teams, like in terms of the draft order, they would love to land a guy like a Kadarius Toney. That's great. Ian from Brooklyn, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Saying big ups, Kai's growing on me. I'm glad that I can entertain some of you guys and girls and have a good time here in the mornings and be able to enjoy ourselves and just kind of have a good time, whether it's talking about soccer, football, basketball, or just ranting about anything. I mean, like the coffee debate that we had last week for like 3 straight days. Kadarius Toney ran so Pitt's first 40 was a 4.44. His second was a 4.46. So enough of this telling me that Kyle Pitts is not a 4.4 guy. He ran 240s. He's a 4.4 guy. If you want to go in the middle of that average, it's a 4.45. Like, he is a 4.4. Kadarius Toney ran a 4.41 and a 4.44. Like, these, oh my God, they're going to be so amazing. Coming in from Manuel Malo in the chat here on YouTube. What should the Dolphins do if Pitts and Chase goes 4-5? Cry. I would be so upset if that situation happens. I don't think it will. I mean, O brings up a great point that it's possible that a team like the Falcons drafts Kyle Pitts at 4. I would think that they would trade down and or select a QB themselves, especially considering with how much is going out in the media about the fact that it's going to go 1 through 4 quarterback, and it kind of keeps seeming to ramp up. If that situation does happen, let's say Pitts goes 4 and Jamar Chase goes 5 to the Bengals, Tito's going to hate this. You either draft Penei Sewell at 6 or you draft a receiver at 6. I don't think you trade down. you grab Penny Sewell or you grab one of the big name receivers and a Jalen Waddle or a Devonta Smith. Sean is pointing to me. What are we pointing at, Sean?
I thought, you were talking with I didn't know who was
No. I was saying that Tito was going to hate me about that. I was talking answering a question from the YouTube chat. What do you think about that, though? 4 and 5, Pitts, Chase go. What do you think they do at 6?
Oh, Sewell.
You think so?
Yeah, or no, you know what? I think they still go. I still think they go Smith and Waddle. No, I still think they go Smith and Waddle because I think they can get a lineman later on in the draft. So I think they still go there, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Somebody asked me that on Twitter, and I was like, dude, I'm not even dealing with that hypothetical. It's not going to happen. They need quarterbacks. This is a quarterback desperate league. People will reach for these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I just believe that.
Agreed. So coming up, we're going to round off hour 2. Keep it coming in the YouTube comments. We'll get to those, as especially Big O ramps up for his show. Want to thank you guys for listening thus far. Catch South Florida Staple every afternoon as Alex Dono hosts the Man of the Match from 3 to 6 p.m. Dono covers everything from football to football to MMA. Tune into one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Dono, 3 to 6 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
These are unprecedented times, challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Welcome back to Kai's Corner. To reach out to Kai, send a text to 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, we're back to round off hour 2. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube comments. Really appreciate you guys joining in, especially considering that a lot of this stuff, it's during work days, everything like that. The fact that you guys come in, you listen in, you comment, you have some conversations with us is awesome. We were talking about the debates on tight ends.
Makes me wonder who their employer is.
Sean, you're letting Tito influence you right there in the back. He's just standing there laughing.
Well, NorCal's the owner, the boss, and so he runs the whole thing. So he can put on whatever the hell he wants, and he puts on Onside Radio, baby. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's
come
a
on,
good boss
Sean.
right there.
Yeah, geez.
Every boss in the world should be putting on Onside Radio.
Come on, Sean. Don't be questioning people's bosses.
Exactly.
Why are you calling me?
Trying to get people.
You're the one that said it.
Sean's trying to get people in trouble, get them fired.
Yeah, Sean.
Let's play it loud. Play onsideradio.com very loud.
Or you could play it on YouTube, not just onsideradio.com, On the best one that's worked for me in terms of the app is the Simple Radio one for sure.
Simple Radio works great, dude.
That's the one that whenever I'm driving and I get here and I listen to Toast and Marsh, it's like that's the one that always
Radio
works
perfect too. The iVox actually works really, really well.
There's a bunch of them.
So there's a bunch. Radio Diner works fine too.
So, what do you got coming on the show today, Vigo?
We are absolutely loaded today. We got Rick Bucher from Fox Sports, so we'll talk a little basketball with Rick at 1 o'clock. Ira Winderman is going to stop by for his weekly Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report. And Josh Moser is going to make his debut on our show. He is the new sports director at Channel 7. So Josh will join us at 2:34. To have a little fun and get his thoughts, since he's the new guy in town, and we'll get a feel for how his adjustment is going. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, our roundtable segment and all these workouts, which I was very proud of you when you started your show, because you did not fall for the bait. It's all this silliness.
It's all stupid.
Yes. Yeah. The Combine, I always tell people when I go to the Combine, I don't watch any 40s. I don't care about the gauntlet. I don't care about the high jump or the long jump or how much they bench pressed, because I've been doing it for 20 years and I've watched all these workout warriors that fail in the NFL and teams that have over the years fallen for the workout warrior. Yeah.
Dory Jackson, John Ross.
What is it, Maluga?
Ray Maluga?
No, not Ray Maluga. No, he was a good player. He was just he was actually a functioning alcoholic. That was Ray's problem. Coming out of USC, that's what people used to tell me. And then obviously over the years, people found out what we knew already. But it was what was the name of the guy, bro, from the Eagles? Sean, you're old enough. From Boston College, that he was a workout maniac the end, and then he was terrible. Malu, something, bro. What was his name? But anyways, Bruce Campbell. I gave a whole bunch of examples of guys that were workout, phenomenal
workout
numbers and all kinds of crap, and then you drafted him and you found out he wasn't a good football player. The Combine is really more about the medicals.
Yeah.
That's what the Combine was made for from the beginning, and why they did it in Indianapolis.
Well, they're doing it next
because it was
week.
Centralized, right, and everybody could get x-rays on all their players and MRIs, so they can see if all their joints and everything are all intact,
right,
and there are no things that could be, happening to him down the line. And then the other part is the interviews.
Yeah.
Where you got to sit down for 15, 20
Go
minutes
through the
with somebody
playbook, see how they
and
can,
go thoroughly into their minds and find out IQ-wise what kind of a football IQ do you have, all of those things. That's where the combine. When I meet with NFL people at the combine.
Mamula.
Right.
Mike Mamula.
Mike Mamula. That guy was like a workout warrior, and he sucked. So,
no more of these Kadarius Tonys instead of these Kadarius Tonys.
There you go. There you go. So
listen, UM shirt on. That's the reason why you're saying that out there, right?
So when I would
give me
meet
a first-round talent on offense from UM.
So when I would hang out with NFL people at night, I would ask them, how did the interview process go with this player, with that player? Was he was he smart? Did he understand everything? Those kind of, hey, what'd you hear about the medicals?
Yeah.
Is that shoulder, is there a problem down the line? Is there a problem when he's had 2 knee surgeries? Is that a problem? All of those kind of things, because you don't know how much cartilage is gone.
It's like the JHI.
Until you get to get that MRI X-ray. Okay, he's had 2 knee injuries. You're all right if you've had 2 knee injuries and your ligaments in place. But if you lost cartilage and you got, holes of cartilage in your, that's going to be a problem down the line, because the itises will step in, the tendonitis, the arthritis, all that kind of stuff. So that's what the combine is all about. So I was proud of you that you didn't fall.
Never fall
for all the workouts and all that. But it's good to see a guy like Pitts run the 4.4 so you legitimately know how fast he is. But that's about it.
All right, guys. Big O show coming up next, of course, from 12 to 3. You can follow Donald after that, and then game night after that as well. Sundays at 9 a.m., Juan Cardona dominates the airwaves with Juan on Juan. From sneakers to video games to your favorite South Florida team. Tune in every Sunday to Juan on Juan exclusively on the Home for Sports Talk in South Florida, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Welcome to OnsideRadio.com.